Okay, good afternoon, and thank you for having us. And we're super excited to be here, and it's inspiring to learn so much about the city here and all the opportunities it has, and what it will bring for the future. So we will go into this future a bit, especially since this is what I do, and my name is Erica, and I work for the Joint Research Center of the European Commission. And my task is to support innovative policy making, so to help policymakers to get a bit more into the future and into a bit more proactive futures making, policy making, because usually what happens is that something is happening and then we need to decide and we need to design a policy and think, ooh, what do we do? And so our task is to support the policymakers to be a bit more into the future and to proactively think about this future, that if this future comes closer, that we already know a little bit what we can do, so that they can actually experiment with the potential future. And we're going to take you into some futures, but first, so I work in the Joint Research Center, but I work a lot with Nandes, my friend, and please, can you introduce yourself as well?
Yeah, the session will be in English, but I thought that we might say a few words in Greek because, and I see nobody's wearing a translation set, so να πω μια μικρή εισαγωγή στα ελληνικά γιατί όλα αυτά... okay, I see in English. Can we, is okay if there is going to be translation both ways, okay. So, θα πω μερικά στα ελληνικά μόνο και μόνο επειδή...
I will say a few words in Greek. I will talk about what we do. The scientists of the future do not predict the future, but in reality we can predict the future. You can try to see the weather forecast, for example, but you say that even so we can't have a reliable forecast. So what we do is to make some scenarios in order to foresee what is going to happen, and we also want to get the organizations and people ready for whatever might happen. They shouldn't feel attached to just one future. I have the UNESCO seat and I have been working with Erica for many years. Έχεις το λόγο.
We're going to discuss the future together because, you know, we know what is happening right now. We want to discover what the future will look like for policy context, but also interesting to understand what and how it works here. And also because it's not something that happens to us, we have an influence on this future. We co-create the future. And it's not only a few policymakers, but it's actually all of us who design the future together. And we're all kind of in charge of understanding where we would like to go. So what we did in the policy lab where I work is that we are looking for ways to, it's called deliberative democracy, looking for ways to not only have policymakers decide, but actually co-create it together. And then the discussion is, yeah, but what are we co-creating? Where are we going? And what will it look like? And it's quite difficult to imagine the future. Usually we kind of stay in this thinking that we know, okay, maybe we have supermarkets we can order online, maybe everything will be online in the future, something like this. But there's also possibilities, maybe we'll have 3D printers that print our food, or maybe we have nanotechnology so we don't need to eat anymore. We have the cells that will grow by itself. So there's many more futures out there that we cannot always imagine. And this is also for policymakers, the imagination needs to be stimulated a bit, let's say. So we try with this project to stimulate the imagination, and we think also that it's not only about the brains, the rationale of a future, like, okay, we think about it this way, but it's also about the gut and about the emotions and the feelings that you get when you get into a possible future. So what we did is we invited design and research companies, artists, to help imagine those possible futures. Especially since with art, it helps a lot to get into the imagination, and it helps a lot to get into the emotions. Because really, when you get into the emotions, it does something to you. No, rationally, you could say, okay, this and this and this happens. But when it gets into the emotion, you think, ooh, did I feel that? Is this a future I like? Or, this is something, it's bugging me. It scares me even. So this is what we invited the artists to do, and we created a couple of speculative futures, some futures to discuss together. And we'd like to invite you in the journey with us to go into these futures and to understand what you think. What, if you see this future, is this something you like? Is this a hope, a dream, a fear? So this is, for us, also a pioneering experiment. And the first future that we'd like to take you into is a future that was based on extending the human perception. It's about our interconnectedness with other forms of life. And it became, because we were looking at what is happening on the horizon, what is new, what is interesting, what might be a potential future, looking at this, because there's lots of times there's, we can connect, we know we can talk to each other, all of this, but there's so much more that we're not always aware of that is very important also for our future. So what is happening deep down in the ground, in the soil, or what is happening now in space? There's so much more now also going on in space and discussions. Who's it from? What is happening? So we try to, with this future, get into these other forms of life that we don't know. And so this is the brief. This is where it started.
If I may have a comment before we start.
Yeah.
It might sound a bit crazy what they are doing, why they are showing this video, and this is going to affect policy making or whatever. What we have understood is no matter how much you work and doing research and present very detailed and very sound scenarios of what might happen, it's very difficult to change the mindset of the people. It's a cultural thing. It's also a physical thing, the way we think. So we investigate different ways in order to change the mindset, change the way we imagine and use the future to change the way we operate today. And we use like serious games, we use other techniques, and this is something that is very much used in the last, years, but it's more explored more today. And this is what they are doing also in the policy lab in the JRC, which is the Research Institute of the European Commission, and they are exploring new ways to help policy making change in a better way.
Yes. Yes.
Good.
And especially to get them into this future in a different form. So what I went into of this non-human intelligence, the brief that we gave to the designers, they came up with an artifact which is called symbiotic, and this one is designed by an agency in the Netherlands, Modem. And what they did after this brief of extending this human perception is that they came up with a scenario, a possible future that takes us to 2050. And so they invite us to go on a journey, a thought-provoking journey to 2050, where the film Symbiotic invites us to explore new ways of inhabiting the perception of other intelligent forms, to embody their experience, their sensory world, their Umwelt, what they feel and how they think. So I'd like to take you on the journey to this world, so enjoy and experience. No, they will share it from there. Yeah.
This is a PDF.
Okay.
Yeah.
Transcript tape number 18, 6th of May 2031. Name Morgan Andersson, Ocean Conservation, Embodied Intelligence Sperm Whale, Location Eastern Atlantic Ocean. I interfaced with the device and instantly everything went dark. But it was not a barrier. I could see through it. The darkness itself illuminated through sound. A burst of clicks revealed the vast depths of the big blue. I discovered a world reminiscent of an alien planet. Mountains surpassing the largest ones on land. My pod, or what I understood to be my social group, used sequences of clicks called codas for both navigation and communication. These codas were intricate dialogues, reminiscent of poetry, carrying with them distinct layers of emotion and meaning. The sea brimmed with life, full of sound that revealed relationships, kinship, dialect.
We can get the 3 chairs for the...
You're tired already? No. Okay. Okay, shall we see also the other screen? With see the feelings?
Yes. If Irene can help us in the back.
The website. Okay, the website.
Yes.
Yeah, that. So what are we going to see?
If you scroll, you
we
see
have to a bit scroll down if you can do it. Sorry, it's a bit.
But then you can see what people in the audience are saying or feeling.
Yeah.
But if the scrolling is difficult, it doesn't matter because you can see it on your screen as well. So when you put in your own reaction, you can also scroll and see what other people thought, what their first reactions were. And in the meantime, Tassos and Sophie and Alexandra, if you'd like to join us already.
And maybe, Erika, you can also describe what is going to happen after this. Now, maybe with the collaboration we are going to have with our friends in Ioannina, with artwork that is going to be produced.
Yes,
Yeah?
I'll do that at the end.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, yes, go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. I mean, you can go back there and leave your emotions and see what other people said. But the whole idea is that when you see this, it gives a different reaction to everybody. And it gives a different question to everybody. Is this something you hope for or you don't? So what does it bring? And we'd like to share with you and go into a discussion with our panel to also let you in some insights or what are the first thoughts and ideas that people have. So we invited Tassos, Sophie, Alexandra to join us and to share their first, let's say, reaction or their feeling on the artifact, on the future. And I hope it imagines and it shows also something that might be not in your mind when you hear them talk. So who likes to start in the...
I can start. Okay, so I'm going to speak in English. Is that Linka?
Yeah, good.
Okay, in English. So when I first watched this video, I was, at the beginning I was like, I'm not quite sure if I like it or not. But then I was like, it's very exciting to see how we can, our perspective can have different views, let's say, and our empathy can expand to others, like, more than humans, because for now, I think the world is very centered around what humans think, what we perceive as our reality, but sometimes, for example, with the forest, the Black Forest, we are all talking about climate change, but we haven't thought, let's say, if we had the opportunity to interview a forest or a plant, how would that be? What would these different perspectives be? So I was really excited and scared at the same time, because I don't want to listen to the answers or have the opportunity to understand the impact of human beings on the forest, for example, let's say. So excited, but a little bit scared of all
Walking
these
alone during the night in a forest and hearing voices.
all these years that we haven't considered other intelligence or other species, what this big impact would be on them. I don't know, like, that's my first thoughts and feelings about the movie.
Me too. The first feeling I was enjoying a lot. I said, so wonderful, I want to be there already. and I said, oh, it's really like a dream to see the invisible, to be able to see the invisible, to be able to understand what we cannot understand now. So it makes me to think about if it's possible with these tools, what else we can do, and if we can also work with all these spaces together. This I think also. And like artist, I said, wow, but I don't have all the information now to create again more. So this tool is like fantastic tools that we can use later, create again more. And after I realized also, I have a different feeling. I was very happy to see this. Wow, wonderful. And after I said, but okay, so now it means that I don't know nothing. So I have 1% of the information about our world. This I think after. And I said, so how we can work on our world, and the same, how we can work well without to have all information, how we cannot destroy nature, all these things, if we don't have all the information now. And I realize also that we speak about diversity and different type of different way to think our world. That my feeling is not the same feeling with another, and this is important. It's also this is the last feeling I have for this video.
Nice, good. So, yeah, you already hear a bit of the same energy, but different energy for seeing the same future, right?
Yes.
And Tassos, what was your first impression?
Yes, it's about all this we see from the video, all this symbiotic thing. It has all these things. All this nature has the same environment. All this, not all the same, but to understand the whales, you need to be inside. To understand the water, to understand the forest, to understand the microcosm of the forest, you need to know about the ground. I mean, you must be, to understand, you must be in the ground. All they have them own environment. And it's very interesting if it will be possible to have a machine that can translate us everything, or to be inside the mind of, to see like a whale, to see like a sonar, to understand the place around you, the environment, understand it only by sound, and to create an image from the sound. This is incredible, because okay, everyone can make his own image, or it will be everybody could see the same image from the sound. It's also a question very interesting, I think, to see, to understand. And about the sociology, it's the sociology with the ants. They have them own social laws and social, and it's similar with our social, I think, how to say, habits. It was we seen about ants. A nice work in the Contemporary Museum of Palais de Tokyo. It was with the ants, and you could see all the ants. It was an artist. He created all this construction like a big city, and it was big ants. You could see all the ants. It was it had a cemetery. They had everything. If it was one ant dead somewhere, they was taking it to put it in the cemetery. They was taking all. It was incredible, and you could see it, all them habits on them. Every day life, no. You could see it from this work. Eh?
Like a city, it was.
It was like a city. Like you could see a whole day of the world of ants. It was very nice contemporary work. But not only contemporary work. It has nothing, not only to do with art. It's also life. It's also giving examples. The art is giving examples also. And it's helping in every κάθε είδος δουλειάς, every kind of work. Maybe you are engineer or you are a teacher or something. From art, you can learn a lot of things for your. You can open your mind and your imagination.
Nice.
Imagination. We need imagination. We need to create a future. We need imagination to.
Exactly.
And were there, if you heard each other now talk, were there things that you heard from your colleagues that you think, I hadn't thought of this, or this is what Sophie was saying, I didn't imagine that part. Was there anything that struck you when somebody other spoke?
From my end, what comes to my mind is that we are trying to be inclusive as a society, as humans, but we're actually not. But at least we need to there are many, many, many steps that we need to take until we say, yes, we have achieved this inclusivity. Imagine now having a panel of a representative of the Black Forest and a representative of the Ants colony. What would they say about us? I think it's a great source of reflection, this video, on also on our personal levels. How, after now we've watched this video, how we, some perspectives, how we are going to change them, how we talk to others, how more empathetic we can be about what Sophie, for example, is thinking and feeling about the video. Are we going to take any feedback from them? And that's what was coming to my mind when you both were talking.
Yes, it's like an example, this video, about how we can be a metaximas between us. And I think about this part of the forest, when you said about what Sophie think, I think this moment, this flower, so feel that it's missing water, but this feeling came from the others, and it's like an example of what we need to do more in the future. We try to do it. It's not that we don't do it at all. We will try to do it, I believe, and as many examples that we try to work together. But this video and how you speak about it make me to think we need to take more about this type of relationship, this theme, relationship between the people, or to live together, because in the nature we do it so much. And what we see in the video is they are doing only this, to work together, so be symbiotic.
I think what you said, Sophie, I think it's one of the impacts that these kind of things can create, because you said even if we don't have the technology, or maybe this technology will never exist, it makes you think how we should have a more empathy, or hear the nature, or hear the other species, and yeah.
And this become we have to begin with us, between us human, first of all.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, in the same time, with the nature.
You need to have a garden. I mean, when you say it's about a garden, it's of course you need inside the nature, but also something controllable. Not maybe full control, but to leave it also a little bit more free. But the garden has also inside the control, that some limits maybe. Maybe as artists or we want to break the limits. But the garden it has a limit. And all this nature inside, to live inside and to have this symbiosis, it's of course they have something in common, some needs in common. So to live and to grow, they have some things in common. Otherwise, it dies. If it's something can't live in this environment, it means it has not some things, some needs of this in common, can't help it, so it will die. So when we say about gardening and about all these environments, you can't live in every environment. We can't go and to be everywhere, of course. We have to find our environment. We have to find our garden to be, and if we don't find it, we can create it maybe. So other people, they can come to live with us.
So do I hear you say that we go into their worlds, but at the same time, do they want us to go into the world? And we have our own garden. We human beings, maybe they should come to our world instead of we go to their world. It's
not about what I prefer. I speak about real to can survive there. About I can't live in the moon. I need some technology and some other science to go until there and to survive there. This I want to say about all these different environments we see here. We can't live everywhere by nature there, by our nature there. We need science or technology to.
And in this case, they designed something to get there, but the question is, should we design something like this? Would we want to go there, or?
This is a question. This is a difficult question. Yes.
Maybe if we create this type of machine, mechanic, and with what we will do with this is this point. If we can read in the mind of everything, what we are to have to read in the mind of everything. It's like we are in the king of the world, that we can do whatever we want and to read. I'm asking if I want somebody to read in my mind. No. Maybe this is the second feeling. No, the fourth. That it's a bit scary because it's what we will do with this. We will do it for good. We will use it for good. This technology to in the mind of Fanena and this hands. I remember you told me, but imagine they will use this type of machine to create a super insecticide.
Insect.
Chemical.
Oh, yes.
Because they will know everything. Yes, it's a bit scary. So we need Ethiopia.
Balance.
And we are not king of the world. So
Which we sometimes think we are,
yes,
indeed, but
we didn't ask anything.
no, no, exactly.
Yes.
And even thinking of this, saying, we're asking now, would we want to read an animal's mind or our own minds? And that's actually in real life now happening with all the stuff online, social media, privacy, everybody can read. And then back then we would say no. And then now everybody's signing the contract. If you go to the website, do you agree on accepting? And yes, it's a whole contract we never read. So there's always a difference also in what can we imagine we do, or if it happens, do we do it? Is it a privacy? Is it an emotion? Is it scary? Is it so? It's nice how you indeed looked at these artifacts and already have different thoughts, and in the beginning a positive one, and then a bit of yeah, but what would it mean? And this is hopefully indeed, I mean, we see this future, and this future probably won't happen in real life because there's different options, but it inspires to get us in not only the thinking about the future, but also already thinking about the now on where we should go or not. So I would like to, because we cannot discuss it with everybody at the same time, and that's why we invited from the artistic field and the psychology and the biology, so we invited people from different backgrounds to share also what they thought, but we're curious.
Yeah, I mean, if some of you would like to share your thoughts about what we have what we have seen, what thoughts there are in your mind at the moment, αν άλλαξε το τρόπο που σκέφτεστε, αν σας έχει δημιουργήσει κάποια καινούργια.
Has this probably changed a little bit the way that you are feeling, or if you could use this type of machine, how would this change the world? Do you want to share any thoughts?
Be a microphone as well somewhere. Ah, okay. All right. Thank you, Katerina. Whatever, yes.
So to me, this example of this particular video is the proof that the thoughts, the stance, the example, and the culture can actually change, not because someone makes a statement, or not because there is a new invention, but probably because there is a new gadget out in the market. This is how it happened with wars. This is how our reality changed when we first used mobile phones. Mobile phones nowadays are the extension of our way of thinking and living. So maybe this example is not about whether this machine is plausible, but about the possibility of a gadget, of a single machine to change things.
Idea that sometimes it's not a matter what we want to happen or what we wish to happen. There is a new technology, and then it changes everything. And that was the main idea of.
Yes, nice. That sometimes when something happens, we need to deal with the change, and we need to either see the positive, negative, give it direction, and deal with it. Right? This is indeed. Okay. If there's no other thoughts, I have something nice that we have this artifact about this future, but this brings lots of more future. So Tassos and Sophie, with their gallery, are going to explore this world a bit more with different artists to understand, what is this that we are discussing, and what does it do? This will be following more and more in Januis to get some more insights on this possible future. It's fine. Thanks.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
And we invite some artists, and they will create a work about what we see here about the future garden. And beginning of July, it will be exhibition with all this work that they will be created from now about
It will be,
the future gardens.
Yanis Kokalis,
Kokalis,
Natalia
Natalia,
Stavro,
and some others
some others.
that they could not be here, but they follow the conference from internet.
A future garden, yes, for us it's an opportunity to mix different type of point of view, different feeling, and different artists. So a different generation also from different culture, different country.
Different countries, yes. Will be some international artists also.
It's opportunity to practice what we learn here a little bit from the others and from the nature, or we can create something, this future garden, together in symbiotic ways.
So TechFuse guys, let us know when the exhibition is going to open so we can join the opening event.
Yes.
And of course, since to be a garden, it needs to be. It's also an harmony. It has to be a symphony between. When you create a garden, you need the same needs. The ground, they need to grow up. For example, if we speak about flowers and plants, but also it has to be who's creating this garden has to be also an harmony between them, or they have to find themselves the harmony to survive.
Yes, nice.
It's a challenge, like an artist, like a curator, to make this type of work. Yes.
Yes.
Project. A nice
So,
challenge.
super, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very
To
for
be
the opportunity.
continued this future, and we'll join you. Thanks. We'll
Thank you.
Thank you that you're
Ευχαριστούμε πολύ.
Uh,
we live in Yanina.
And we want to say, so this is one of the futures out there, but it's never a standalone. And there are many opportunities and possibilities of different kind of futures. So we took you with us in one future, but we'd like to take you on another journey. And this journey is about dealing with the future selves. And this is about, if we want to go, this is what the European Commission is working on a sustainable transition. We're currently at a state, there's a lot of polarization. We're kind of wanting to go back because we don't like what is happening and we're not sure where it's going. So what will this future self, what will we do? Where will we go? What will it look like? So where can we transition into? And to be able to transition into something new, it's good to look at what happened and where you came from. So what are the, for instance, collective traumas in the different countries, or what are the things that you might need to let go before you can go into this new future. So this was a bit the brief for the design agency that actually worked on an artifact which is called Inwards. And they are taking us also on a journey to 2050. And they invite us to explore new practices and technologies that enhance the self-reflection and sharing of emotions, thus helping shape our choices in life and nurture a renewed sense of togetherness. So we'd like to take you into this other future world and see what you think.
Το τελευταίο.
Traces in the sand, so intricate, like drapery in Raphael's paintings. Roofs disappear into an abyss. Beautiful. Leaving the garden zone will delete creations. Is Martina sure? Welcome to the self-folding zone. Tone analysis ready. Checking body signals. Is Martina ready? I slept well and woke up feeling available. I enjoyed the smell of milk. I meant it when I said good morning. I danced and lost my balance in the shower. I had a thought for the grumpy neighbor. Martina's words do not fully match Martina's emotions. A shadow lies between Martina's stated and deeper selves. Search within for what is casting it. But I really did enjoy the smell of milk, didn't I? I truly enjoy my work and I'm good at it. Professional insecurity isn't weighing me down. I know I'm of good service to others and I matter to many. My friends definitely make me happy. I could call my parents. No, I'm feeling confident. Unless... it is... something is missing. Oh no, not today, empathy zone. Welcome to the centering zone. Time to become the forces that move Martina. I find joy easily, in the small things, but also I believe in acting for the greater good without sacrificing my own path. Scratch that. My path grows brighter when I support others. It's how I connect.
SAGAPO is the password.
Inwards EU23 from 23.
So it was a Eurovision
know.
song
Yes?
from Greece, and
Okay.
it was say the password, and it was Sagapo, which means
Oh.
I love you.
Would be nice. So we'll give you 1 minute or something to get into this and leave your first thoughts.
Oh, yeah. Ah, okay.
Okay. Thank you.
That's a good future.
It's nice if you're there and you leave your thought also to see indeed what others think. Is this strange, nice, not? So if you want to get into other thoughts, please go there. But we, at the same time, also like to ask Cyprus, Johan, and Sandra to join us in the conversation to understand their thoughts of this inwards. Is this, Sandra, a future you'd like?
Well, basically, what I thought when I saw this video was like, wow, this is interesting. As I watched it, I thought there was something off. I wasn't sure what. But as I thought about it more and more and deeply, and that we were invited to sit here and say some words, I was wondering why was it off? Like I didn't feel like quite, like it didn't relate with what I envision or feel, like even presently, like. But I think that it's because we are not built like that. We are not built to hear everything and sense everything from everyone else. It is interesting, though, that like the concept of looking at our true self, and I think that's what it was off for me, because nowadays no one really looks into what you are really, like you really are. We are always like showing our best face in social media, but in a way it's like human nature, right? Because we are social. And if you go out and just say, oh, I don't feel well, I'm very anxious, and everybody's going to be like, just like calm your mood. Like everyone struggles with something. So I believe that in order to belong, some sort of ourselves has to be hidden in some way. It's not that we lie, it's not that we are liars, but as humans, we have to connect to ourselves, but keep some things to ourselves in order to be in a community. However, I think that we are losing a lot of this inward connection, and in that way, in the future, if we can connect back to us and the nature, like looking at the previous future, I think we used to belong to that, to those worlds. We used to belong. We moved and we detached a little bit from nature, and I think something was lost with all, like with this separation. We're still trying to understand how we are as society, as a world, as different cultures. Like we are so many now, right? And we are like each person is a world in their head, or you know, their feelings. So I believe that in the future, if we are looking inwards, then we will all win in a way, in the way that we are all honest to ourselves and to other people, and just to show what it will serve to other people. If we are like looking for connection, I think it is important to be in harmony with ourselves. But I don't know if you agree. Yeah.
So yes, if I can tell about my reaction when I watched these videos. First, I was thinking, okay, this future actually can be true. Can be true because I just focus on two sides. First side is that the human refocused on himself, the understanding of his feelings, and the relationship he has with the other. I think it's possible, and it's possible because it started. I mean, since 5-10 years, we speak most. I think you actually spoke about that yesterday. That I mean, the soft skills now in our society is going to be more and more important. The soft skill is like the communication skills, the creativity, and it's getting more and more important. Also because the AI is going to be more important, and the AI is going to give to take actually the works that we had, the manual work, the work that for which the human couldn't give the value, a good value. That means that we can imagine that the human is going to have more time, actually free time, and also I think that a direction he can take is the refocus on himself, on the relationship there. And the second thing I think it's going to be possible is that the technology is going to be able to understand the emotion of the human, because I think we see that the technology can now understand how your brain is working with brain activities. We thought about the pheromone, that it can understand the pheromone. So I think that if the technology is going to be able to understand the human, and that the human is going to take the technology to help him to understand himself. So I think that's really possible for it. The issue I see in the video, it's like it will be the technology is going to help the human to understand himself, but it doesn't give the direction. I mean, as I see, for example, the guy with the AI coach about minimalism. I mean, it helps to be more minimalistic, but the human is lost. The guy is lost in the video. He doesn't know, because it's used like a tool and not like a direction. It doesn't know how to use the AI and what their direction to have a better life, to have a sense of a life. I don't know if I'm clear.
Yeah, you're
but
right. That's a nice, actually, that's a nice comment. Yes. Although he was trying to understand, but then he didn't know what direction to take.
Yeah, only because the AI, the technology, doesn't know what is good for a human, and so it can give tools, it can give ways, but without direction, the human is lost. It just uses the tool for using the tool, and not with a purpose and.
With the inner purpose. Yeah.
Ωραία, εμένα θα μου επιτρέψετε να μιλήσω.
I will use my mother tongue, which is Greek. When I first watched this video, I really liked it, to be honest. So first I watched it from an artistic point of view, and then I tried to think a little bit of what I am watching. I was kind of scared, I have to admit, and I was mostly scared by the fact that communication is lost, at least in the way that we have known it so far. And as things move on, we can see that this is a constant change. So we can see that the young generations now can express themselves rather differently using emojis, for example. So this is a new form of communication. And then I thought that AI in this way and in this form could probably be the artificial intelligence that could give us the opportunity to understand how we are supposed to behave or how we are supposed to feel without really seeing your inner self, without being connected to what you really think about yourself. This is rather likely, you know. All of this could probably be helpful in different sectors, depending on the usage. I really love gadgets. I am a great aficionado. I do believe that some gadgets will bring real change. So that's my initial reactions.
The communication routine is changing and how everything is changing, and how all this digitalization changed the way we communicate. But I think most of you thought that this is something that might happen, and I would add that it is not that it could happen with a technology like this. It could happen with a different way. I mean, there are, as you said, already experimenting with different ways. We go to the psychologist, we go to our yoga instructor, we are trying to learn new ways to inhale, and we experiment with LSD or other things, and everything it's about this is to change the way we understand ourselves.
Maybe I can also say that in the difference with between the two future, one is focused on outside the human, and I mean to understand the nature, how they react, and the other videos is okay to be focused on the human himself, and I think it can be also dangerous because we know that the human, if he's focused on only the needs he has, he forget about the outside, and to be focused on inside, just to be focused on inside, I mean, it's the end of humanity.
Okay. So that's an interesting dimension. If we focus too much in ourselves and understanding ourselves, we might lose this kind of empathy with what is happening outside the human world.
Exactly, especially since the purpose of going inwards is to feel more connected. And when you're saying this, it just hit me because I didn't think of this before. I really thought, this is good, and you feel your emotions better, and especially if you saw it in this future, it kind of felt a bit lonely. I don't know if you got the same feeling, but it's kind of like connected only to the machine instead of to anything else anymore.
The place of the nature in the two different type of videos is very interesting because in the second video we see like a passive nature. Nature is just a way for the human to be connected to the other, but it's not used like, okay, we try to be connected and inside the nature.
Sorry, and it also, I think, when we have like anxious feelings or some like stress, I think this is very human as well, and it's good to have these feelings. And I perceive from the video that like we have all to be calm, like you cannot like let yourself feel a little bit more overwhelmed. Or I think this is very important, like to even accept this when it happens to us, because if you suppress that and you think all the time, I have to be joyful, I have to be calm, I have to be in balance, that's not human. That's not what we are. We are not built like that. So I think that it is important to, at the moment we are lost, we don't look at ourselves at all. So I think this is nice in the way that, okay, so like what do I really want? Why I want this? And how do I want it to be, like manifested or like seen or whatever? But to go into this level of, I think even the people that have this level of, balance, and, the people that meditate and do all this mindfulness, and I like, it's for sure that they go through these stress moments and anxiety moments, because this is how we are. And like physiologically, we are like that. We are built like to fight, to fly, to, to survive. So we need this stress to survive. If we are like always in calm, then there's like a little bit lost of the purpose of the human nature, I think.
Nice. Spiros, what do you think of this, of their reaction?
Ναι, όπως είπε και η Σάντρα, νομίζω ότι μπορεί να χαθεί το νόημα της ανθρώπινης ύπαρξης σε αυτό. Αλλά να σας πω κάτι εγώ, έτσι, αυτά που άκουσα, ότι θεωρώ ότι θα ήταν λάθος ο τρόπος αυτός. Δηλαδή, όταν υπάρχει ένα app που μπορώ εγώ να εκφράσω τα συναισθήματά μου και το πώς αισθάνομαι, είναι σαν στα σημερινά δεδομένα να είμαστε όλοι εδώ πέρα και κάποιος να μας πει ότι «ΟΚ, βγάλε την μπλούζα σου», ότι θα χάσεις τα μέτρα σου, τα όρια σου, δηλαδή, εκεί που ξέρεις. Είναι ωραίο να υπάρχει συλλογικότητα, να σκέφτεσαι για σένα, ξέρω εγώ, να εξωτερικεύσεις κάποια πράγματα που μπορείς να εξωτερικεύσεις. Αλλά είμαι λίγο προβληματισμένος με το...
Spiros is still trouble with all this development, all this kind of...
Αντιδρώ λίγο σε αυτά όπως...
So these are my initial reactions. I don't know. I'm not really sure how I feel about it, but...
New and so deep and technological change brings this kind of feelings of I mean, everybody is afraid of new technological developments, especially if they are so profound. So this is the natural thing.
Well, and it's nice to hear you say that from all of your background, Spyros is an artist, Johan is a designer, Sandra has a medical, like writing medical. So also with that perspective, you see some of these futures differently, but at the same time, you're running into similarities and experiences that don't really take your background, but also your personal feeling into the mix. So thank you very much for joining us in the discussion and sharing your thoughts, because we wanted to show that these are possible futures, but yeah, do we want them? Is this a good thing, a bad thing? How close are they to reality or not? But for policymakers, this is important to kind of understand what should they do? I mean, if this is going to happen, do we as citizens want this? So if this is going to happen, because this one is maybe a bit more possible than the other one, then if we don't want it, we need to do something about it. And policymakers have the opportunity to design policies to either say, well, we can only use it for this purpose, or we don't want it, or this is not human anymore, or so. The whole idea of what we've been now doing, and thank you all, also the others, for sharing your impression, because this is very valuable for us, for ourselves to think, is this something that is hopeful, or do we fear, and what does it do to us, versus, okay, and what does this mean, and how will it look like, and what should we do now to either go there or prevent? And this is also why we had this discussion, but we're also inviting you, not per se now, but we have two codes here. One is for symbiotic and one is for inwards. And it shows us, and I can show this later, but it shows us this tool, which is a futures canvas tool, where we can have the conversation together. So we could not do it now with all of you, and it leaves maybe some thoughts.
But you might have this small...
the cards are...
there are some cards that you can take them with you, and you can have these QR codes.
Yeah.
Should be somewhere.
So they're laying at the entrance, I think, so you can take the card. And then you can go to this page, digest what you've happened, listen to what other thoughts and opinions are, and then go through some statements that other people have left. Because we're trying to have this conversation in Europe with more of you, to understand, because maybe also the cultural perspective or your background, or everybody has different thoughts. So to understand what people have been saying, you can go there, and then you can, they call it rating, say, is this something you also expect or not? Or is this something you see as positive or negative? Which leads us then to the next step, where we invite you to come up with your own statements. So what is your impression? And it's not about the one we just did is your first mood, but this is about what do you see happening in this future. So it's really about inviting you to go into the future and think, yeah, if the ants take over the world, I don't know, like really statements of being in that future. And then with all these statements that that you leave, and the rating, is this positive or negative? We get this overview of what people are saying. So positive expectations, this is something that you feel as you've listened to what other people said, or your own statement, that is something positive, we would like to go, and we expect it to happen. This is what we can imagine to see. But the hopeful dreams are something we like, but probably won't happen too fast, versus the expected challenges and the distant threat, so something we wouldn't really like. And then this leads us into there is an AI tool, the technology, that then translate your statements into some futures.
Can I give a very brief description in Greek?
Yes, yes.
So, πηγαίνετε μέσα στην ιστοσελίδα, βάζετε και γράφετε πόσο πιθανό το θεωρείτε ή πόσο απίθανο, γράφετε ένα statement ότι πιστεύετε ότι θα γίνει, και αυτά αυτόματα πηγαίνουν σε έναν...
The host is repeating the instructions in English at the moment.
Το 2050. Yes.
Cool, thanks. And these are then interesting to read, so then this leaves us a bit, okay, if we take all your opinions, the artifact, we saw that future, we take all the opinions, then if we listen to this might be something, the hopeful dream, that policymakers could act on and try to create. But also the distant threats, this is something that policymakers should try to avoid to get there, because this is not what we want. So these ideas and your ideas help us to support policymakers to be a bit more proactive in going to the world that we either like or do not like. And this is easier said than done, because yeah, if you, in a week, you might think, yeah, but that future is nicer or not, or it's not always easy to imagine, because sometimes what we said, there's technology coming, what you said, there's technology coming, we deal with it or not. It's scary in the beginning, but at a certain moment we get used to it and we accept it as it is, like normal, which we wouldn't have imagined 10 years ago. So this is not an easy challenge, but we'd like to take this challenge because we think that it's our future together, and it's about trying to co-create and see what it is that we'd like. What is this ideal future? I mean, this is a huge question, but we'd like to see where we get, and we'd like to do it together. So thank you for joining us today, and for going to these to see these futures and going there. It would be much appreciated if you go to this canvas and leave your thoughts. And it's not only now, you can go there in a week or in a couple of months, because more and more people will leave their ideas and their statements. So if you're curious if we're getting close to this future or not, please come back all the time and enjoy the future, not only these crazy futures maybe, but also the future of Yanama and what technology and art can do also for your city. And I think because this is where we started.
And many thanks to TechFuse for inviting you and having this very different session here in Ioannina. So thank you, and thank you for coming.
Thank you.